Good morning. It's okay. Let's try it again. Good morning. I tell you what, he mentioned name is Shawn Harper, played 7 years professional football with the Rams, with the Colts. I played both right and left tackle. Man, I love the game, just engaging and just warfare. And being an offensive lineman, it's all about that warfare. You ever notice how they never show what happens in the trenches as an offensive lineman? You know, they always pan out. They show the linebackers and the quarterback and, the DBs, but they never talk about it's a dark place in the trenches. It is hand-to-hand combat. In fact, I think I'm going to share a story in reference to that. First of all, thank you for having me. This is just a huge blessing, and I see so many heroes in here, and this is not, the cliche motivational speaker hype, but it's the truth, because I had a great conversation with a couple people yesterday, and I was just so blown away by this organization and what it's doing and what it's going to establish in the lives and the mindset of so many people, because we're not victims, we're victors. You see, victors always look to what they're going to. Victims tend to focus on what they're going through. So do me a huge favor, heroes, especially you heroes in the room, and I'm going to talk about heroes later on, and I'm just having an ADD moment. Just flow with me right now, because I'm just going there. I'm just loving this. So heroes, it's just absolutely amazing because no one recognizes, no one talks about the heroes. Like offensive linemen. I just mentioned offensive linemen. Think about this for a second. We have a few football fans in here. I can read your eyes. I can tell. That guy right there is a real football fan. He's analyzing me, and this person right here, he's a fan, and that's a fan, and she's a fan. But I bet you can't name the starting 5 offensive linemen on your favorite team right now. Not one hand, maybe one hand will go up. Please, humor me. If you can name the 5 stars, that's one hand right there. And that's 2 hands right there. And there's 2 hands, and there's about 200 people in this room right now. Can name the 5. Because the offensive linemen are the unsung heroes. We're the heroes. We make it happen. We fight the game so people can play the game. And in this room, there are the heroes. There's heroes in this room who fight every single day. That is so awesome. Give yourselves a huge round of applause. Seven years professional football. And, we don't really talk about, our ups and downs when we play football, do we? We just talk about the sport and the game and how exciting it is. But today I'm going to share with you a concern that just about every NFL player has. And it's something that we think about. And you have to just, as I lower my voice, you have to just understand this concern. And the lights went down too at the same time. I'm like, that is so smooth. That is so good. I'm about to give an altar call, ladies and gentlemen. Is there one? Is there one? But no, check it out. So, the NFL, they own a number of subsidiaries. And one of the subsidiaries they own is NFL Films. And NFL Films, they film every single practice, every single meeting, and whatever's captured on NFL Films becomes the property of the NFL. And so, we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to look bad and, in front of, just being embarrassed. And we don't want the, 10, 20 years later saying, Daddy, is that you? So we want to finish our entire career having a great time. And, let me stop for a second. Is there a reason why the lights are so low here? I'm that color, right? Come on, I want them to see me. There you go. So check it. Yeah, let's have fun, man. I ain't got to tie you out. Kick it all day. Yeah, move this out of the way. Is that better? So check it out. So NFL Films. And so, I was told, man, you always want to do good when you're mic'd up, man, because, hey, this is the property of it. Oh, yeah. So the second year playing for the Indianapolis Colts, before the game, my offensive line coach comes up to me. He says, son, whatever you do, you have to have a good game. I said, Coach? He said, listen, you have to have the best game you've ever had. I'm like, uh-oh, Coach, what's up? He said, They brought another offensive lineman in to take your spot. See, in the NFL, you have to make the team every single week. And if you don't believe me, go to the back of any national newspaper or even on the internet. There's a section called transactions, and they are trading players. There's rooms where they look and they evaluate. If a player's cut 1 week, they're like, can he fit in our organization the next week? It is that competitive. And I'm like, wow, man, I've had a great preseason. Going into the season, I'm doing well. He said, listen, you just had the best game. I said, okay, coach, I'll do it. I said, by the way, who am I going up against? Because before the game, I was playing right tackle, and you moved me at the last moment to right guard. So I really wasn't really studying the one technique guy, right? He said, so I said, who is that? That's Parker? He said, no. Just go look at the depth chart. I got to go, Harper. Now, the depth chart in the NFL, high school, Pop Warner has a listing of all the players, how big they are, what college they went to, things like that, right? And so I scroll over to the depth chart. I get all the way down to number 99, last name on the list. I skip over the name. I don't care about the name. I'm looking at the stats. He is 6'5", 350 plus pounds. A little plus right there. 350 plus pounds. I'm like, whoa, I got to block Big Daddy? The locker room was like, all you heard was, Shaun got blocked Big Daddy. Shaun got blocked Big Daddy. Shaun got blocked Big Daddy. Those are the DBs, right? Teammates to the left, teammates to the right. Everyone's looking at me as I begin to walk back to my locker. No one's saying a word. Mouths are open. All I hear is, wah, wah, wah. Now in football, especially at that level, you can't show fear. I'm like, man, I ain't scared of Big Daddy. Like, come on, baby, let's go. I said, Marshall, you're getting 200 yards today. But deep down in my inside voice, right, I'm like, I ain't got to block Big Daddy. Second quarter of the game, offensive line coach said, son, you ready? I said, Coach, I'm ready. Let's go. He gets on the headset. We're going to send in Harper. He's talking to the coordinator up top, right? He's like, yeah, send in Harper. It's a good time. Let's go. Let's see what he got. Now, before the game, I called my mama. I was like, Mama, how many tickets would you like for the game? She's like, hold on, baby, I call you back. She called back, I don't know how it happened. She called back 15 minutes later. Baby, I need 114 tickets. Aunts, uncles, nieces, my pet dog, Rover, they all had tickets. And so I'm jogging out there, Indianapolis Colts versus Cincinnati Bengals. We're in the Cincinnati Stadium. I'm jogging. I don't know how this happened, but out of all the people in the stadium, I hear my mama scream, that's my baby. I'm like, Mama, right? Man, I get in the huddle, all stars, all pros in the huddle. Man, I'm around greatness. I ain't going to tell you all the names, but I got Zach Crockett back there. I got Marshall back there. I'm like, man, let's go. Game on. I got this big 6'6" offensive tackle named Tony Mandrix. He's over there. He got tattoos all over the place, hair all the way down his back. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's going. Now, first play is 26 dive. Now, listen, for all you football novices, let me help you out. Everything from all pro to pee-wee. Even numbers are always on the right side. Odd numbers are always on the left side. They keep it simple for us, right? And so I'm jogging to the line of scrimmage, and the closer I get to the line of scrimmage, I begin to hear the sound like, Big Daddy is sucking up all the available oxygen. And I'm jogging to the line of scrimmage. I got my splits, man, and boom, I jumped out of my three-point. And my quarterback is like, blue 75, blue 75. Perfect drop step. Boom, got a hold of Big Daddy, and I shoved him back about 2 or 3 inches. Marshall comes and he sets that block, 7 yards on the play. Marshall gets up, he's fired up. I get up, I'm fired up. I'm turning, run to the huddle. I turn, Big Daddy's getting up off the ground. I walk over, I look at him. I look right at him. I'm like, it's going to be like this all game, player. Me hitting you and you hitting the ground. Why did I say that? Next play because they're worried about our running backs. Next play is play action pass. Football novices, let me help you out. The play action pass is built on deception. That's when you fake the run, you draw the strong safety, you draw the Sam linebacker up, and then we're going to either send a receiver or a tight on a wheel route right down the field. We're going to hit it. We're ready, baby. It's 2nd and 3. They know we're going to run the ball, but we're going for the juggler right now. And I jog to the line of scrimmage, the second play, and I'm right there. And my quarterback is like, blue 75! And right when he gets to the second blue, okay, for you football experts, there's a few of you out there, Big Daddy moves from a 1 technique to a 3 technique, like, boom. That's one-on-one pass rush with the right guard, right? And I'm like, set, hut, boom, got a hold of Big Daddy, and I locked him out for about a half second. And then Big Daddy begins to hit me. And my elbows collapse, my knees lock out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my feet begin to leave the earth. And I'm going back 2 yards and 3 yards, and all I can say is, help me, help. 4 yards and 5 yards, I turn to the left, I see my quarterback. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Don't worry about me. He don't even want the quarterback. He's 6 yards, 7, boom, he reverse pancakes me. He pins me. And I get up, hoping no one saw it, and they didn't because the receiver caught the pass. We're good, right? I mean, you can get yelled at film session, but you're good. And I get to the huddle for the next play. I think it's a TV timeout, and all I hear is, ooh, ooh. Like, what is that? And I looked up on that massive Jumbotron screen, much bigger than that. And they showed me being driven back by Big Daddy about 7 times. And the entire crowd's like, ooh, ooh. In fact, why don't you help me out? Group participation, let's connect. You ready? Let's connect. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come on, a little louder. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that right there. Coach is like, get him out of there. I'm like, oh. Jogging to the sideline. I'm embarrassed. I'm being kicked out the game. I get right by the sideline. Out of all the people in the stadium, who do I hear? Mama. She's like, no, not my baby. And a few other choice words for the coach and the coaching staff and the entire Cincinnati Bengals team. A few plays later, it's halftime. And I'm sitting there like, you know what? If I have a bad second half, I know I'm going to get kicked off this team. But midway through halftime, I realized that football's a game and football's a sport. But football is not who I am. And that's very important in life because if you don't know who you are, you're who they say you are. And once a situation or circumstances can define you, it has all power and authority over you. So the crux of what I want to talk about today is identity, because that's where the power is. And using that identity to develop a strong internal locus of control versus an external locus of control. And those are just big words, but I'll try to explain it a little later on. But I want to walk you through my journey of getting to where I'm at now and where I'm going. And I want to invite you all the way through into the greatness and to the law of the 212. And that's what I want to talk about. But I want to share a little story because I'm all right brain, right? I want to share a story about a father one day deciding to bring his son to the zoo for one of the first times. And at the zoo, this kid is seeing all the animals, the giraffe, the parakeet, the tiger, you know. And then he sees it. He sees this humongous elephant, but he notices the elephant's being held by a small chain or a rope. And in his confusion, he looks up at his father. He's like, Daddy, how is it that this 12,000-pound elephant is being shackled by this small chain? The father, sensing the confusion, sits his son down, begins to tell him this story. He says, son, when an elephant was just a baby, they tied a humongous chain to its right ankle. And that baby elephant would pull and pull and pull for days, weeks, months, and years, wanting to break free, wanting to experience freedom. It would pull and pull and pull until one day it says to himself, not only can I not break the chain today, I'll never be able to break this chain. And years later, son, that fully grown 12,000-pound elephant, you'll place it in the zoo or the circus, and when it begins to walk and everyone's watching this 12,000-pound elephant, when it gets to the end, though, and it feels that tug, not of a massive chain, but that of a small chain, That same 12,000-pound elephant could snap 100 chains. That same 12,000-pound elephant could probably tear this place down, but it was taught. It was conditioned. It was socialized when it was younger. The one thing I could never do is break chains. The one thing I could never do is break free. The one thing I could never do is be normal. I'm shackled. You see, it's one thing to have chains here, but it's a tragedy when we allow something or someone, a situation or circumstances to place chains here. And you're like, dude, like you're a 7-year professional football player, business owner, executive. What do you know about chains? Really? So I'm standing in the line, 2nd grade, and I'm having a conversation with my friends. We were on the 1st grade last year, now we're in the 2nd grade. We're contemplating world domination in the 2nd grade, right? And I was happy because I had my 32 pack of crayons, and not the 64, but not the 8. Like my friend had 8, I had 32. And I had Kanye in the pack, and he doesn't have that color, right? And the teacher walks over and she grabs my left arm and she pulls me back into the 1st grade line. And all of my friends, or my former friends now from the 2nd grade, they begin to yell, Shaun, you failed. Shaun, you're stupid. Shaun, you're dumb. And as I'm repeating the 1st grade, I had the same book in these old school reading books like Sally, Dick, and Jane. I guess they still have those out, I don't know, and See Spot Run, and I'm trying to pronounce these words. And in the 2nd grade, I got the same book. And in the 3rd grade, I got the same book. And these kids are moving on and got bigger books, and I still have See Spot Run. And it's really challenging, and I'm getting D's and F's on every single one of my tests. And they're like trying to give me help and trying to give me tutor. And I'm realizing that, Shaun, you have issues and you have challenges. And by the time I was into the 5th grade, they just kept passing me on, right? And by the time I was in the 5th grade, I would count the number of students, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 students, and each student represented a paragraph. And so I would count 13 paragraphs because my teacher, this loving type of a teacher, just love and sing and love James Taylor, right? And so she wants everyone to read out loud. And I have a huge challenge because I stuttered. In fact, I couldn't complete a sentence till college. Shaun, read. And I'm and the class is falling out, laughing. Shaun, go to the board. I can't spell. And I'm happy the teacher felt sorry for me because she sent a note to the office, and then they called my mom and they said, ma'am, we're going to test your son for about 2 or 3 days. And they tested me for like 4 days. And it was a psychologist, a sociologist, and all these ologists. They're all in the room, right? And they're testing me, and they're testing me. And after about 4 days, the head person throws down the pencil. He's like, I need to speak to your mom immediately. And mom comes in, and she's upset because she had to take off work. And she's in there, and they're like, ma'am, your son has 4 to 5 documented learning disabilities. In fact, we don't even know how he made it this far. And then the social worker steps up, and we got this and this person said, well, I'm from the city of Columbus, and all these people in the room, and they had like this, they prescribed my entire life to me. What was going to happen from that day? And my mom looked, and she listened, and she looked, and finally after about 5 to 10 minutes, she stood up, and she slammed her left hand on the table, boom, and she looked at the Mr. Psychiatrist guy, and she said, you will not label my son. And she looked at me. She said, baby, you got to do this. I'll be here for you, son, but you got to fight. No, Mrs. Harper, we have it. No, get away, you get away. You stay, but rest of you guys go. And so it was very interesting because she found the people that was going to push me, not enable me. I went from the 5th grade to 6th grade. I got kicked out of a couple schools for disciplinary issues. Should have been 3 schools. Barely started in high school football. I wasn't even honorable mention all conference. I leave high school with a 1.62 accumulative GPA, 9 on my ACT. Out of 154 seniors to graduate from Independence High School in Columbus, Ohio, my academic ranking was 154. I was voted most likely to fail. Wasn't even honorable mention. As I mentioned in football, I was the bottom of the barrel. I needed 17 credits to graduate. I had a 17 and a quarter. I had Gym 4, Gym 5, home ec. I can do anything in home ec. Just give me home ec. Just let me get through. And all the other smart students, you know y'all smart students. Y'all had like inroads and National Honor Society breakfasts, and all I had was gym, right? just make it through. And I'm sitting there on the last day of school like, what am I going to do the rest of my life? Because I'm a victim. I mean, I don't care. I'm not. Maybe I'll just be normal. Well, I'm not normal. Well, I'm having this conversation with myself. I can't play football because I'm extremely flat-footed and my knee is jacked up, and they said that I shouldn't play. The phone rings. The phone rings, and it's a junior college in Mason City, Iowa. How did you get my number? A junior college in Shawn, we want you to come to North Iowa Area Community College in Mason City, Iowa to play football. I literally hung up on that coach. I'm not going to Mason City, Iowa. Where is Iowa at? But something began to speak deep within me. For the first time, my dream began to speak. Go. What? Go. And I picked the coach up, phone up, I called the coach, I apologized. I said, Coach, I'll come if you have me up there. He said, we don't have money. You got to do this. There's no scholarships. Just get in. The mom's had this, her boyfriend had a station wagon. So we got, young people, it's never mind. And we jumped in this car, we drove all the way up. I remember it like it was yesterday. I-70, 74, 80, Highway 18, Mason City, Iowa, 26,000, blonde hair, blue eyes. Everyone's last name is Schneider. Okay. In between two cornfields. In the first year at that junior college, I sit the bench the entire season, not one play. I'm carrying the water for all the starters. I'm holding the bags. I was real quiet guy, reserved, and they would laugh when I would walk in the room. They would stop talking. I knew they were talking about me, like, why is Shawn here? Why is he here? At the last game, I called my mom, and I said, Mom, I quit. I want to come home. My mom did something unusual, though. Normally she would say, baby, come. But no, she says, no, you stay there. And going into the second year, I had a conversation. And the conversation was this. The conversation is, you're right, I can't be successful. I said, but I can win. And the moment I said I can win, something happened deep within me. It was like the dream. I started seeing obstacles as opportunities. I started doing the most craziest, unconventional, radical things to win. And my slogan then and my slogan now, if life is a game, you play to win. And before I get into my tactics and strategies, I need to sell you on this. I need to eclipse or to push away the concept of success. And I need to talk about this thing called winning, because this is what we are created. We are created to win. This is why if you would go watch your favorite football team and that team has lost every single game for like 20 years in a row, you would not go to the game unless you're a Cleveland fan, okay? If you're a Cleveland fan, you'll go. But outside of that, you're not going to the game. Now, you're still a fan, but you can't identify. You cannot identify with that losing, because the DNA, you're made up, you are a winner. Gambling is a multi-billion-dollar industry. There's an entire city built around winning. It's the #1 vacation spot on the planet Earth because it attaches itself to who you are. Each and every one of you in this room, I gotta kind of prance over this because there's youngins in this room, but you are one of 1 million. Just use your imagination, okay? You're one of 1 million. You made it. It wasn't, hey, here's my business card, let's connect. No, you were swimming towards an opportunity. It was life and death. You are here because you won. But the world wants to teach you success. And I said to myself, I am a winner. I am born to win. I am not disabled. I'm uniquely enabled to win. The first thing that a winner does, after they know that they're winning, that they're a winner, and I'm going off and I don't have my notes, I just know where I put them, I don't care, is that a winner develops a team. Everybody has strengths and everyone has weaknesses. Superheroes. Superman is amazing, but he has kryptonite. So me being the winner and having a list of deficits, I had to develop social skills to build a team around me, and I built that team. I'll give you a real-world example right now, 2022. They said, Shawn, you'll never write, you'll never read. Shawn, you'll never write, you'll never read, you'll never spell. And that was really good till I found those social media platforms like Freelancer and Fiverr. I promise you, I have 6 books now. I'm just rattling off, but I have so much content in my mind, I can't get it out fast enough. The guy's like, we are not making no more books for you. I said, I got 3 more, baby, let's go. That's my team. Winners develop amazing teams. Look at it in society right now. We love Bill Gates, or we like Bill Gates, or we hate Bill Gates. But who's Bill Gates' partner for years? Paul Allen. Warren Buffett, who's Warren Buffett's partner? Charlie. Music, we love Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger, who's that guy playing the guitar, not saying much? Keith Richards. You have to have a team. Mark Zuckerberg has, 12 other founders. You have to build a team of people around you. You are here this weekend to be winners, but you have to find and look and gather information around people, the person that you're with, to develop the team. Build your teams. Number 2, there is always a way to win. There is always a way to win. I was trying to connect with my son, right? I'm trying to connect with my boy. I'm trying to connect with him, and he likes to play video games. So I decided to play a video game with him because I want to connect, right? And he doesn't know that I'm the former, Mr. Pac-Man champion of the world, right? I try to hide that former identity, right? Son, you don't know what I'll do to you on Tempest right now. Defender, right? So we're at level 13, we're at level 13 in this Star Wars Battlefront, and we can't get past this particular level. And one day we're fighting and doing everything that we've got to do, and it was like a month, and we jumped behind this box. I don't know how I got behind the box, but I jumped behind the box. And he's like, Daddy, how'd you get over there? I'm like, I don't know. I said, but son, whenever they go past, you run past me and I'll shoot them. And we went from level 13, 14, 15. We beat that level. And he looked at me. He's like, Daddy, there's a glitch. There's a glitch in the program. I said, I almost broke the controller. I said, no, son, there's not. It's not. This is put into the game so that we can call it a game. and you found the secret to the game. It's not a glitch. And I looked at my son, and I'll share what I shared with him with you. Son, there is always a way to win. Second point. Third point. I said, son, you got to win the inside game. What I mean by the inside game is that life will have a certain expectation of you. But it's not life's expectation of you, it's your expectation of you. That's where the champions are. That's the inside game. I was playing football with Indianapolis Colts, and there was a receiver. And this receiver, although we won the game, he didn't have a good game. And at the end of the game, he had his arms folded. He was upset. He wasn't happy and things as such. And I walked over to him. I'm like, man, listen, dude, you have good games. You don't have good games. It's okay. Let's move on. If you live in the past, you'll die in the present, bro. And he got mad at me. He pushed me away. All-pro receiver. He pushed me away. And he turned around, and the game was over, but he went back into the weight room and he began to train. He said, I didn't have a good game. He said, it doesn't matter what their expectations of me is, it's what my expectations is of myself. I have to do better. The inside game. I will perform better. And if I give it my best, then I can walk away with my head up. But even if we win, and my head, and I did not give 100%, I'm not happy with me. Inside game. And I'm going to leave you with this. Because I believe that everyone in this room is a hero. Really do. Heroes are never meant to blend. But the cry activates the call. And what I mean is that you take a superhero and there's no challenge before the superhero, then all he or she is a clown in some crazy outfit. Put him in the circus. But you take that hero and there's a conflict, daggone it, that same person is the savior. That so amazes me about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I mean, they laughed at him until they needed him, which is kind of sad to me. The cry activates the call. Recently, I was tapped on the shoulder. I said, Shawn, post-COVID, this world needs you. Throw away the marketing, throw away the branding. Whatever they call, you go. And each and every person in here that is uniquely enabled, the call is now. Forget what you see on social media. It's a lie, because I talk to the same influencers and I talk them off the bridge all the time. I talk to the CEOs all the time. I talk to the people that you think are doing so well. I talk to them and I coach them all the time. They're hurting right now. The cry activates the call. And each and every one of you have a gifting, has a talent, has a purpose for a season and a reason. And this is what you're going to have to do. And you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone, because if you're not careful, your comfort zone will become your casket. This weekend, this time is your halftime. And you're going to leave halftime either bitter or better. As I mentioned, being a right-brainer, I love visuals. So I have these ancient relics. They're called phone books. Young people, there was a time. This bad boy right here sat right next to those encyclopedias. It was more precious than the Sears catalog at Christmas. And there was nothing more precious than the Sears catalog at Christmas. Those racing tracks, come on, man. But this represents the past. Your past challenges, your past mistakes, your past failures. This represents every negative word ever spoken over you. This represents all of your low expectations that you have of yourself or people have of you. .02% of any player makes it to the NFL for 1 year. I have about 6.5 to 7 years with NFL Europe. The number one feared occupation in the top 5 is public speaking. And I stuttered my entire life. I've been married for 23 years. The average is 4 to 5. I've been in business for over 20 years as a CEO. The average is 4. This ain't cliche stuff. No more excuses, baby. We're going to win. What's going to happen is I want you to take your excuse, whatever it may be. Take your fear, whatever it may be, and put it in this book. Who is the person that I spoke to at the airport yesterday? Are you here? My God. I interrogated her. Blew me away with her energy. Hi. Hi. I'm doing this, and this. I was like, really? I'll buy you a hot dog outside. She shaped 90% of what I'm saying right now. I said, that's a winner. I said, if that's who I'm about to go talk to tomorrow, whoo-wee. So I want you to put it all in the book right now. Each and every one of you, group participation, raise one hand in the air. Raise one hand in the air. I'm 6'5", 320. I will come sit on you. Everyone raise one hand in the air. And I want you to put your excuse in there right now. Put the excuse in there. In your hand. Put your excuse in your hand. Put your pain in your hand and ball your hand up real tight right now. On the count of 3, I want you to throw it in this book right now. Throw it in this book, okay? This is like high-level NLP stuff right here. I want you to throw it in I want you to throw it in this book right now, okay? I got skills. I will catch it. You ready? 1, 2, 3, throw it. All right. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. When I get to 1, I'm going to start real soft and real low in case you got any rhythm issues out there, all right? Rip my book. And we're going to get louder and louder. We're going to scream it out, okay? Give me a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rip my book. Little louder. Rip my book. Louder. Rip my book. Louder. Rip my book. Scream it. Rip. You guys ready? Give me a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Screaming, rip. Let's go. Listen. In life, you will get knocked down. You will be disappointed. You will be rejected. You will be embarrassed. But when you get knocked down, if you can look up, baby, you can get up. Don't play this game to be successful. They told me I would never make it. Even my guidance counselor told me I wouldn't make it. Play this game to win, because that's who you are. You're winners. Thank you. My note. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shawn, for sharing your story with us. It was very, very powerful. I think we're going to spend the next hour out here building our team. Thank you again.